It is the first day of school tomorrow, and I hope all of you had a wonderful summer. Knowing that, let's all take a little bit of time tomorrow and over the next week to remind ourselves to slow down. So school zones are back in at 30 kilometers an hour, and neighborhood streets are 40 kilometers an hour. That was one of the big successes, one of the big changes we did in our last term was change neighborhood speeds from 50 kilometers an hour to 40 kilometers an hour. There are lots of studies out there that show that actually saves lives, and so our Road Safety Advisory Committee did make that recommendation. But that's only one of the things we did to make our roads safer. We also added a number of crosswalks along Grove Drive to make that a more consistent experience along whether you're west or east or center on Grove Drive. All the crosswalks are now lit. We also added crosswalks in key areas such as on King Street so that you can get across to Central Park a lot easier, as well as we added crosswalks in areas where our seniors are crossing from Copper Sky and Grove Seniors Village. The other thing too is we're making sure that we do have police officers on the street, so we hired more police officers, and we worked with our enforcement services to ensure that we have a dedicated traffic unit, that's all they work on is traffic enforcement. So there are some amazing things we are doing to help keep Spruce Grove safe. So one of the areas I think we can improve upon with our neighborhoods is talk about traffic calming measures that will help reduce speeds on the roads in their neighborhoods. Now, we don't have a one solution fits all, and there's many different ways to do this, but we need to find ways as ATE is no longer an option. So automated traffic enforcement was removed earlier this year, and what we're seeing is speeds come slowly back up, and we're also potentially seeing injury collisions, which is a concern to us. So we have to be able to work with our neighborhoods and find those ways to curb traffic. So one of the things we're doing here in McLeod Avenue is we have these bulb outs, which are at key areas like the intersections and crosswalks, which allow traffic to slow down so that pedestrians and cyclists can safely get across the street. So this is just one example, but this is where we need to go. These are the conversations that I think a lot of neighborhoods want to have on how they can slow traffic down so that kids and seniors and all of us alike can safely get across the street, and we're all using the roads safely. When it comes to safer roads and safer neighborhoods, I think one of the things we have to look at is bringing back Neighborhood Watch. This is something that I had when I was growing up. And over the last few years here in Spruce Grove, we've had iterations of it, but nothing formal has come from it really. But you know, with the advent of social media, we see lots of neighborhood chats sharing suspicious activity, whether it's somebody breaking into a car or someone into someone's garage. We are looking out for each other, but I think there is a more formal way, and lots of neighborhoods are looking for something where they can look after each other. So now that we're bringing on the new Police Advisory Committee, I think this is something that we should consider and maybe put it on them to look at a work plan, and maybe if there's a way that we can formalize this, put some funding behind it, and even train some of the volunteers so that we can bring back your local neighborhood watch.